pilots, Major Howard V. Andre Jr., Major James E. Sizemore, were killed in action over Laos during the Vietnam War. Well, their remains were finally discovered in 2012. And they were buried in 2013 after they finally identified them. Why are we just finding out about this story now? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he was out there before, but I didn't hear about it. Of course he didn't hear about it. Media's not going to cover this stuff. It would have made the king look bad. I think this came from Alan West. I think he did a post on Facebook or something. God only knows. I'm looking up 5,000 sites at once. And I do. When I get on my computer, boom, 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 I just start clicking. I've got all these sites up at once, and I just go right down the freaking list. So where this stuff comes from, God only knows. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. We should have been talking about this a year and a half ago, but I already know. But the flyovers are common in military funerals, not for nothing. But especially when you're a war hero, you were shot down, pilots were shot down in war. You damn skippy, you give them a flyover. You don't pull this crap of budget cuts. No. Budget cuts? No. No. They'll go out and spend $150 for 1 gallon of goddamn fuel, and they're going to bitch about budget cuts? Maybe you should have bought some other fuel, cheaper fuel. Maybe you could have flown over. That's ridiculous. That's inexcusable. Inexcusable. Why this president would do that, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand how these liberals are so heartless, so cold, so callous. They have no respect for Americans, no respect for our veterans, no respect for anybody but them. As long as you're a Democrat, you get respect. If you're not, you're not. You get nothing. That's what Al-Qaeda does. You understand that now, Ellen? Sweetie? Look, Ellen, I mean, I respect what you're doing by protesting that hotel. However, you're 13 years too frickin' late. Which tells me you have absolutely zero credibility. None of these people. Why did it take them so long to figure this stuff out? I don't know. Especially when they announced they were going to do this implement Sharia law, a year and a half ago? And now all of a sudden they're catching up to it? What, are you kidding me? But flyovers on Navy funerals they're part of the ceremony. It's just part of the package. Especially a veteran that was killed in battle. They were shot down. You damn skippy they get a flyover. Don't worry about the budget cuts. I'm sure you could have found somebody who could have bought the fuel. Well, this government flat refused to do so. So civilian pilots stepped in. Thank God for these civilian pilots. Well, we know, Vietnam. You think Benghazi was a long time ago. God, Vietnam. Jesus, God. That ended in what, 74? Oh, man. They don't deserve a flyover. They've been dead for over 40 years. They don't deserve a flyover. Plus, it's too expensive. We gotta save this $150 fuel for other missions. Like flying down to Nevada and attacking ranchers, paying their grazing fees. I guess that's more important than honoring our military for being killed in action. So a creep like Barack Obama can have an opportunity to run for president not once but twice and win. Is that how you think these men, Mr. Obama? Huh? Is that how you think them? You're a creep. I'm sorry, but I'm sick and tired of these people. Look, those are our military, man. And I'm not just saying this because I'm ex-military. I've always felt that before I was even in the military. Doesn't take much to get to that point. This is our military. They fight for us. And if we can't think them any better than this, well, we don't deserve them. If you've seen the video, go on YouTube and try to find it. They flew over the kind of plane that these two majors were actually shot down in, and they had a couple of Mustangs on the side. They had other vintage planes that they flew over, and they also had the formation where they're flying, and one of them flies out of formation to represent the missing man. So they went above and beyond what a normal military flyover would have done. So good for them. Good for these civilian pilots. Good for them. I bet when you die, Mr. Obama, I bet there'll be a flyover. Think about that, Mr. Obama. Think about that. What heroic action has Barack Obama? What has he ever done to get a flyover? Besides debt, poverty, tyranny, theft, lies, and murder. That's right. Murder. Murder. Murder, Miss Eleanor Cliff. Oh, he didn't die. He wasn't murdered. No, he just died of smoke inhalation. Well, maybe if the enemy hadn't set the set the place on fire, maybe he wouldn't have died of smoke inhalation. That's murder, Eleanor Clift. You goddamned idiot. What's the matter with these people? How can they say this stuff? I mean, look, again, I understand where Glenn Beck is coming from when he cries, man. I mean, I do. I feel like I want to cry. I don't cry because I get sad. I cry because I get so goddamn frustrated. It's either I got two choices. Either I can go on a goddamn killing rampage or I can cry. I choose crying over going on a goddamn killing rampage. I'm just sick of this stuff. I don't know how these people can do this and how the American people can accept this. Why the American people are so accepting for this crap. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't know what it's like to be that willfully obtuse. I don't know what it's like to turn that kind of crap off. I can't turn this stuff off. Look, I never met Brian Terry. I never met any Chris Stevens or Tyrone Woods or Sean Smith, Glenn Doherty. I never met these guys. I never met Justina Pelletier. I never met these guys. I never met any of them. But they're my brothers. They're my sisters. They are our family. We are one family. We got one race in this country. There are no Americans, African Americans, Chinese Americans, Liechtensteinian Americans. No. We're Americans, period. We come in every color, every shape, every size, every religion, everything. And it's high time that we start acknowledging that and accepting that. How about that, Mr. McCain? Going to accept this, having my phone calls being tapped all the time. That's unacceptable. That's not who we are. That's not Americans. Did our forefathers really have to die in vain for this? Is this what our forefathers died for? Huh? All those brave men and women, and there were women and children fighting in the Revolutionary War. You don't believe me? Read a goddamn history book. While their husbands were out fighting in the war, they were at home with their shotguns and their muskets and anything else they could use, defended their farm. We even had a couple of founding fathers that were actually children in the war. Children fought in that war. Women fought in that war. Why? Because they wanted freedom. So we really have to have another Revolutionary War to get the freedom that we've already been granted? Is that what we have to do? I think there's a smarter way of doing this. First of all, we got to stop voting for liberals into office. We need to have a no-tolerance policy for Democrats. That's what we need to have. Look, you can be a Democrat all you want to, but this stuff, no. What you people stand for, no, I don't accept it. I can't accept it. I can't accept it. I will fight you. Fight you all the way. Well, thank God for these civilian pilots who stepped in. I mean, it's a shame. That's a goddamn shame. That's a goddamn shame. These men were shot down over 40 years ago, but we can't do a flyover because of budget cuts. Really? Why didn't you use all of your vacations then, huh? It's okay for you to fly around all over the place, go to all these exotic golf courses. That's okay. You couldn't have given up one of your vacations, Mr. Obama, to allow a flyover for these brave men that died for you. You couldn't give up one vacation? Huh? That's ridiculous. Budget cuts. Doesn't take very much to fly one of those planes over. I don't buy that. That was done deliberately. That was a slap in their face. That's disrespectful, man. Do we need any more reasons why we should impeach this president? How many more reasons do we need? And the list keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger every frickin' day. But we're just supposed to accept it. Oh, it's the 21st century. It's right here. According to John McCain, that's the 21st century rules. Just accept it. That's just the way it is. Well, no, it isn't. And no, we do not have to accept it. Okay, before we pull into port here, in memory of the United States Air Force pilots that lost their lives defending our freedom, Major Howard V. Andre Jr., Major James E. Sizemore, and to honor Airman Brian Kolfage for his sacrifice, I'm going to play this song here. And if this song ever had a time where it had real meaning, now is it. Now is it. And I know you've heard me play this song before. And I'm going to probably play it again and again and again. This song does have meaning. I want you to listen to the words. It's a live performance. There's a little stuff beforehand and then the music starts, but I want you to pay attention to these words. Remember what we talked about on this show today and listen to these words. And we will see you back here tomorrow morning at 10. Goodbye, everybody.
Wavy Gravy was right. Wavy said, if you can remember the 60s, you weren't there. I look back on some of those times much more fondly than I remember being in them. Remember a couple of things. Remember there was always something else, some new crisis, another movement or something, and some new issue. A million things all going on at once, and everybody had to choose up sides, it seemed like, on everything. And I came out of that whole time thinking I'd only met two different kinds of people. There's people that give a damn and people that don't. And the truth was, you could find both of those kinds of people on every side of every issue. And in the long run, I thought you might even have more in common with people that care about stuff than you do with people who side with you on an issue or two as they're going through time. Which is a long way of saying I made some friends that I didn't expect to make over all these years. And some of them are here tonight. Some of them I actually know. So here's a song for some friends. Like a lot of folk songs, this one is not just overdue, but already outdated. Wrote it before the war in the Gulf was getting thought about. But I think the feeling holds up and goes something like this. In a strange and foreign land, a soldier packs his memories as he leaves Afghanistan. Back home they don't know too much. There's just no way to tell. I guess you had to be there for to know that war was hell. And there won't be any victory parade for those who's coming back to fly them in at midnight and unload the bodies out. In the living well they're walking down a long and lonely road, because nobody seems to care these days when a soldier makes it home. They'll say it wasn't easy, just another job well done. As the government in Kabul falls to the sound of rebel guns, and the faces of the comrades being blown out of the sky, leaves you bitter with the feeling that they didn't have to die. And there won't be any victory parade for those who's coming back to fly them in at midnight and unload the bodies out. In the living well they're walking down a long and lonely road, because nobody seems to care these days when a soldier makes it home. Halfway around the world tonight, in a strange and foreign land, a soldier unpacks memories that he saved from Vietnam. Back home they didn't know too much, there was just no way to tell. I guess you had to be there for to know that war was hell. And there wasn't any big parade for those who made it back. They flew them in at midnight and unloaded all the sack. And the living was left walking down a long and lonely road, because nobody seemed to care back then when a soldier made it home. The night is coming quickly, and the stars are on their way. As I stare